is a big welcome from Miss Stellamaritz to you today. How you doing? I trust you are good. Today we are going to be looking at a fantastic topic, and that is the musical staff. It is what? The musical staff. All right, let's see what the musical staff is about. We're going to look at the definition, and also we're going to see the lines and the spaces of the musical staff, and make sure that we get to know the names of the musical staff as well. A musical staff or staves, which is in plural, is a set of 5 horizontal or straight lines in 4 spaces on which notes are written. Now, is a set of 5 horizontal lines. I know you know about lines. We have diagonal, we have curve, vertical, and so on and so forth. But music makes use of horizontal or straight lines. And we said that there are 5. In between the 5 lines, we have 4 spaces, right? On which notes are written. On which what notes are written. Now, can we say this is the feature or the character of a staff? All right, the music staff. A staff has 5 lines and 4 spaces. That's one of the features of a staff. 2, composers write notes on the lines when they compose music. That's another characteristic of a staff. All right. You look at a staff to read music. Really? Yes, you look at a staff to read music. Composers write notes on the lines when they compose music. And also, the staff has 5 lines and 4 spaces. So we can say this is a characteristic, so we can say is a feature. Can you see the staff? Is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I needed to take note of something. Normally, when we want to write our notes, we write from top to bottom. But now, look at it. In music, we write from where? Bottom to top. Can you see it? Number 1 was supposed to be the first line on top, but you can see it now that it's below. This is just a staff. It doesn't have a name at all. It's just a staff. The only way we'll be able to know the type of staff that it is, that's what will lead us now to what we call clefs. There are 4 major clefs used regularly. How many major clefs? 4, meaning there are other clefs, but the ones we use regularly are just 4. They are treble, bass, alto, and tenor. Now, of these, the treble and bass are far most common. So even if we are having 4 that we regularly make use of, we still have 2 that are far most common. These 2 are the ones that we see every day in music. In our songs, we see them every day. For that of the alto and tenor, they are used mostly for musical instruments. But when we talk about treble and bass, we can use it for both instruments and for singing. Right? Did you get that? Let's look at the types properly. We said types of clef signatures. We have 1, treble or G clef. We are going to see why do we call it G clef. It's called treble or G clef. We have 2 there, bass or F clef. We have 3, alto or C clef on line 3. Take note of that. Alto or C clef on line 3. Then we have the 4th one, tenor or C clef on line 4. Now the difference between these 2, they have same pattern or okay, let me say the way you draw them. They are same, but the difference then is 1 is on line 3 and 1 is on line 4. Alto and tenor are called the C or movable clefs. Now you can see adding them together. If you want to say alto, you can say alto or C clef, tenor or C clef. But if I want to relate to both of them together, I'll call them the C or the movable clefs. Now these are the 4 regular clef signs that we'll make use of. The difference here now, I don't want to call it a problem, is that we have not tagged them according to their names. So somebody who does not know what a clef sign looks like will not be able to tell me which and which is this. But I think the only one that can help out is the alto and the tenor. One I said line 3, one I said line 4. So you can see it now that one is line 3, one is line 4. We can guess for those 2. But we don't know for the one that is to the top left and the top and the bottom what right. So let's see the names accordingly. We have the treble. Can you see this? That's the first one. The second one is the bass. The third one is alto, and the 4th one is tenor. Now the treble is drawn from line 2. If you look at it, that's where it started from line 2. The bass is drawn from line 4. Can you see the circle? that is there on line 4. Then we have the dots. We have 2 dots after the bars clef, and the dots are placed inside space 3 and space 4, or you say spaces 3 and 4. Then the next one, which is the third, is the auto. You can see now that the auto is drawn from line 3, and we have the tenor that is drawn from where? Line 4. Let's look at the treble, because we said we want to take 2, which are what? Treble and bass. Those are the 2 major clef or staff that we are going to be treating today. Now, the line 1 of the treble staff begins from E. What did I say? Line 1 of the treble staff begins with the letter E. Separating the lines and the spaces, you can find it below that you are having E, G, B, D, F for the lines, but the spaces, they are what? F, A, C, E. These are just major acronyms. We are going to give you what it stands for. Why do we do that? Or why did we think of doing that? Because we want you to remember. Sometimes you may not know which is this line or which is the space, because you're having treble, you're having what? Tenor. You might even be having auto and what? Bars. So to be able to easily memorize it and remember, we are going to give you what it can stand for. So when you remember to say those words, you'll be able to know your lines and spaces perfectly. Remember, we have 5 lines and 4 spaces. Look at that of the bars. The bars, first line begins from G. Remember, line 1 of the treble begins from where? Begins with what? E, but for the bars it begins with G. Separating it also, the lines, they are G, B, D, F, A, while the spaces, they are A, C, E, G. Remember, the treble is what? E, G, B, D, F, but for the bars now is G, B, D, F, A. So it's like a flip. All right, then for the spaces we have treble as F, A, C, E. Then now for the bars we have A, C, E, G. I'm so yearning to see what it stands for. But before that, let's look at the C major scale. The C major scale is made up of 8 notes. Mostly all major scales, minor scales, they are made up of what? 8 notes. So you can see this one began from C. We have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. This is just the normal C major on the treble. And this other one is on the bass. You can see it. C on the bass and C what? On the treble. Okay, now let's look at what it stands for. We have F-A-C-E, that is face, but E-G-B-D-F is what? Every good boy does fine. Then for the bars, which is in the bottom, we have all cows eat grass. That's A-C-E-G. All cars eat grass. All cars eat gas. F-A-C-E. What does that stand for? Face. Then we have every good boy does fine. E-G-B-D-F. And for the bars, we have good Puritans. Good burritos don't fall apart. We have other names that we can give, like that of the face, which is F-A-C-E. We can say Faith ate cooked eggs. You can see what it stands for. Faith ate cooked eggs. So if you want to know what is line 3, Faith ate cooked. Oh, space 3 is C. That's cooked. It helps you to understand and get it easily. Then for that of every good boy does fine, you can flip it to the other way. We can say every good boy drinks Fanta. Every good boy does fine. Every green bus dries fast, and so on and so forth. Also, for all cars eat gas, we can also have adults can eat ginger. We can also have all cows eat grass. We can also have all cocks eat grains. So there are a lot of things that you can have. What about every girl buys dolls frequently? So it will not look as if it's only for boys we're talking about. Girls buys dolls from America. It's very interesting. Music is very, very interesting. Yes, this is all we've been seeing. All the acronyms are there, but we have every good boy deserves forge, every good boy deserves favor, every good boy does fine, and so on and so forth. And this is where we'll be stopping for today. But before I leave, Make sure you attempt your quiz and assignment perfectly. All right? Make sure you do that perfectly and keep safe. Stay away from trouble. Be the best. I love you. I'm going to see you on next